And welcome back to another exciting episode of our real estate roundup. Every week, we typically go over the top 5 new listings, but being the end of the year, we are going to do the top sales of 2024, where we're going to go over the highest top 10 properties that have sold in Ocean City in 2024. But first, we're going to give you a brief market overview comparing 2024 to 2023 and some years in the past.
So it was interesting to see. We started off the year at a very low inventory at 643 units. Or no, this was units sold. Excuse me. The inventory was very low last year, and it even lowered this year even more, which made for a very difficult market, which I believe we had predicted, and has escalated the sale numbers as we saw over the last 2 years. So the units sold in 2023 were 643. And in 2024, it was much lower at 558, and this is really due to the inventory and what's been available. So that's been tough. The average sold price actually jumped up a little over 4%, went from $1,191,000 in 2023 up to $1,243,000 in 2024. And the average days on market jumped almost 15%, from 47 days to 56, which again, there's just not much to pick from. So
right. I mean, the common theme we've been seeing over the past couple of years is lack of inventory.
Mm-hmm.
We've been in that mid 200 of active listings, which, to kind of put that in perspective, the pre-pandemic, we had close to 1,000 active listings.
Mm-hmm.
And now since then, we've been under 300.
And even I think in 2023, we had mentioned the previous video from last year when we did this. I think we were right around just under 300, but this year we were hovering right around 250 and even less.
Even less than the year. So it's a very tough market. The days on market, I always say take that with a grain of salt, because some properties are sitting out there for longer and taking longer to sell to hit their numbers, but there are other places that are selling in under a week.
To be honest, I think we're less than a month on things that are moving really quickly, but this is looking at an overview of the whole market. And you do see the increase from year to year, but the right things are moving at the right price, and the right price is still a bigger number than it was the year before, the last 2 years.
Yeah, so the trend we're seeing is number of sold units decreasing, the average sold price increasing, and the days on market increasing. But all in all, it was a very healthy 2024. It was a very tough market for buyers and sellers. Very competitive, but overall it was healthy, and I think it was good.
Yeah, a lot of still. 558 transactions. Still, it seemed like there was a lot more activity, because I can't say how many times I've been in a bidding war, lost out on properties. So it was super active. Yeah. It was just super competitive and a really tough year to get things through. And buyers had to be really aggressive, and it was even an election year where usually we see things kind of calm down a little bit in the fall, and I guess we felt that, but those slowdowns that were normal only really would slow down for a week or two, and things would pick back up.
Yes.
So, well, let's jump into the top 10 sales of the year. Number 10, we have 310 East Surf. This sold for $3,850,000. This was a Gardens new construction single family with 5 bedrooms, 6 baths. It was an LCON build. This was a beautiful new construction home that another one I actually missed out on for the development project. So this was something I couldn't predict that number, and that's why I had lost it, because that was at the time that was a big number for that area.
It seems cheap for the Gardens.
It does now. It does.
Number 9 on the list is 4435 Central Avenue. This is a second floor condo in the south end of Ocean City. It's beachfront. The sold price was $3,950,000, and this was a 5-bedroom, 5 full bath. And this was one of those like the extensive renovation, I believe. So it wasn't new.
No, I think it was. I think that was a newer one.
Was this new one?
Yeah, it was built by
newer.
It was built by Giorgetti. It was 4 years old. It was built by Giorgetti.
So I think that was the renovation one then.
Okay.
They took it down to one wall, but anyway, $3,950,000 for a second floor on the beach in the south end.
Number 8, 22 East Aberdeen Road. This was a newer single family in the Gardens on a very large lot. And that sold for 4 million even, and that was 5 bedrooms, 5.5 baths.
It's a nice street,
A
Aberdeen.
nice street. I mean, what do they call that? Well, that's Newcastle, I guess.
Yeah.
Commodore's Row.
Oh, is that what they call it?
That's what they call Newcastle. Commodore's Row, and then these are the streets right next to it. But a very exclusive, yeah, very exclusive neighborhood. So that was a nice property.
Number 7 is 1419 Ocean Avenue. This is a second floor condo. This was one of 4 units in this building. It was new construction, beachfront condo on the boardwalk overlooking the pier. 6 bedrooms, 5.5 bathrooms with a pool, and the sold price was $4,370,000.
You can toot your horn, Greg. Go ahead.
I got to sell this property. It was extremely nice. It rents out extremely well now. They get $25,000 a week. But overall, the house, the finishes, it was sold furnished. It was an incredible unit.
I mean, that was a really incredible project overall. I mean, it was 4 units, right?
Yes.
4 units, all of them went for over $4 million. So that was a pretty impressive project. I mean, I remember when they were starting off and those numbers were coming out, and we thought that was pretty wild. So look at us now. Number 6, 32, 32, and 34 Wesley Avenue. This is a beachfront duplex on a very large lot, 50 by 120 lot, and this sold for $5,185,000. I believe the first floor is 4 bedrooms, top floor was 5 bedrooms. Was a little dated, but ultra rare spot, and look, ultra rare location and building.
Yeah, ultra rare location. Yeah, to be able to control a whole duplex on that size lot on the alley doesn't come along very often. I mean, they're selling 40 foot.
I mean, well, that's what I was going to say. Just go back to number 9, which was 1 floor for $3,950,000.
Exactly.
So, pretty good deal once you look at it that way.
Jeez. Last year's high prices are next year's bargains.
Yeah,
remember
as we're looking at
now. Number 5, 343 East Surf Road. This was new construction by Buck Custom Homes, very high-end builder, extremely nice. This was 7 bedrooms, 7.5 bathrooms in the gardens, and the sold price of $5,500,000.
And that was an incredibly unique lot. It was a massive lot right there in the gardens. And, can't say enough about the Buck's builds. I mean, they're over the top.
Over the top. He takes his time, but it shows in the details. Mm-hmm. Things turn out extremely nice. In fact, I think that was a pretty good buy for that home.
I do too. I mean, it was listed well above that. So, I think they shaved off. I think it was around 6.5.
6.5.
So,
yeah.
But I believe that was a pretty good deal for what that was. So number 4, we have 50 Bay Road. This sold for $5,900,000, and this was an ultra rare 90 by 100 lot on direct open bay in the gardens, Shallow Gardens, North End area right there. You just can't duplicate that lot, and they rarely exist anymore. So.
Yeah. And that person bought it to tear down and build their forever home.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're building a spectacular house on the bay that if you're looking for a place like that, they just don't come along very often.
No, they really don't. I mean, it's very rare spot to find that amount of space on the bay.
Now, number 3, staying on the bay, we have 5 Barbados Lane. This was another single-family, custom-built, newer construction on the lagoon, 5 bedrooms, 5.5 bathrooms, with a sold price of $6,900,000.
And I want to say this property really opened Pandora's box on the bayfronts, where the bayfront market is going now. And today, it's well above that mark. And this is a 50 by 100 lot. On a finger lagoon. I mean, it really moved the bar for the bayfront market.
It did. Right. When that one sold, it kind of opened everyone's eyes. And now looking, and we'll add to our bold predictions, the bay for 2025 is going to be, unobtainable.
Yes. Numbers we haven't seen.
Yeah. Your number 2.
Okay. Number 2, 924 Stenton Place. This was a beachfront single family, 5 bedrooms, 4.5 baths. Right at the end of the boardwalk there, and this sold for $6,950,000. Again, ultra rare location. You just can't duplicate this kind of property.
Yep, yeah, single family on the boardwalk, North End Beach. They just don't come along very often. That one went quick. I think it was on the market for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, it was something that again, it's just an ultra rare property, unique opportunity to jump in, and somebody saw it. and went for it.
And then number one on our list, the
top sale of 2024.
24 is 530507 Central Avenue. This was brand new construction duplex in the deep south end of Ocean City with a final sales price of $7,200,000.
And this was a deal.
That was a deal. Looking back, that was a deal. And at the time when they were quoting that number,
you're blown away by it.
Blown away.
But now it is a deal.
Yep. And someone bought that whole building. You know?
So, because I mean, now you're seeing each floor sell for just around $4 million. So I think a base price of like $8 million plus.
I think you're $8 million for a new duplex now in the south end.
Absolutely.
On a 40 by 100.
You want to start us off with your bold prediction for 2025?
So my bold prediction for 2025, I think we're still going to have another tough year in the aspect of limited inventory because that's just been very common. But I do think it's going to be a very active, healthy market, kind of what we've been seeing. We're past the election. We're into a new year. People are talking about maybe interest rates might come down this year, but
kind of in the same boat.
If not, I mean, 6.5% has kind of come the norm of what people are expecting.
That was the norm pre-pandemic. So
yeah, pre-pandemic, and that's kind of what it is now. And I also think, we're going to be heading into the spring market, which is historically always a strong market for us. I think that's going to be a really big telltale. But on like a national level, all the signs are pointing to it's going to be healthy across the board.
Yeah.
More people are buying homes. People are, if they were locked into that 3%, now they're realizing, hey, I got to move to do something, and they're giving it up because I think that's what's holding us up.
Yep.
People don't want to give up that sub 3% interest rate they got during that, pandemic. But now you're starting to see people that have to move for one reason or another. So, if we can start to see more of that, we'll start to see more inventory. But I think we're going to be less units sold again this year, higher purchase prices, and I think the days on market are going to be they're going to trend upwards. But I think if you really look at it, they're going to be less than normal.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to agree pretty much with your prediction there. I mean, we're going to have less units sold just because of the inventory of what's out there, and I think the numbers are going to be higher. As we just went through our top 10 sales, we were laughing thinking every one of these properties is almost a deal as they came off the board when we look at 2025. So there's nowhere we can go but up with these numbers and where the inventory is going, simple supply and demand. And the days on market, I think, will be relatively similar just because of what's out there. It's just, and like you said, if you take a hard look at it, the good things are going to continue to move because we have such built-up demand for those properties. So it's just going to continue to trend up. I mean, unless there's some sort of pandemic or something our way to stifle things. But even then, we thought that would stifle things. It only blew it through the roof. So, I think we're going to see more of the same, and it's going to be a difficult market. I think you're, as a buyer, going to have to be pretty aggressive, just like we've been seeing.
I think as a seller, stop chasing that top dollar, price it where it should be, and you'll be pleasantly surprised by the activity on it. I think that's what you're seeing is some people pricing it very high and they chase the market down, potentially leaving money on the table, versus pricing it right where you're going to have people fighting over it.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think you just got to tell yourself, hey, the use of enjoyment, appreciation, if the rates do come down, all those things you have to take into account when you're looking at a house. Because we look at this top 10 list, and if these were available today, they would sell, 2 times over, if not more.
Yeah. So that's our real estate review or real estate market review for 2024 in Ocean City. Again, we'd love to thank you. Please leave comments. Comment, subscribe, follow. All the good stuff, and we appreciate any feedback that we do get. We do appreciate talking to our clients who do watch the videos, and looking forward to a good 2025 here. And again, I'm Pat Davish with OCNJHomes.com.
I'm Gray Haenn with Burger Realty.
We'll see you next week.